What's up, guys? Welcome to another monthly movie roundup with myself and Luke from Kaleidescape and Kellen from Dream Media. What's going on, fellas?
Not much. How are you today, my friend?
Very good, very good. How's my mic? Is my mic okay now?
Mike's okay. They
Is it good?
reset me all of a sudden. I lost my background here. It's brutal.
Uh-oh. You're on vacation once again.
Brutalist.
I only live on vacation. That's my entire lifestyle. That's my aesthetic.
Well, we got an exciting show today. I feel we're going to go through the February's releases. I haven't seen everything, but I know Luke has, but I saw a good majority of them. And then we'll swing back around. We'll talk about some of our Oscar picks, some of the best Oscar releases that just came out that are all available on Kaleidescape, I believe. Luke?
Well, it won't be all, and it won't be every single one of them because there's a couple of studios that we're still hoping in the fullness of time to get licensed to come aboard. But many of the best Oscar winners are here on platform. We're really excited to have them there.
All right. Yeah, I think Flow was one of them, right? That wasn't.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was looking for that one. I was like, "Where's Flow?" It's all good. Let's go ahead and kick this off with this guy here, Sing Sing. I personally have not seen this one myself, but this is on Dolby Vision, also HDR10, 60 gigs for DV, and then 61.9 gigs for HDR10. Look at that. I haven't seen this. I don't even know what this is about. What is this about, Luke? Have you seen it?
I have seen it. It's about a guy who is sent to prison, the Sing Sing of name, and prison is a very difficult, dehumanizing experience, and it's about him as he fights for his freedom because he feels like because he has been unjustly imprisoned, and one of the things that he does that helps him hold on is he joins a theater group, and it's sort of about the experience of these guys inside putting on a play, and how it helps them kind of keep connected with themselves. It's an absolutely stunning and beautiful drama. Coleman Domingo is incredible in the lead role.
I hear he might be up for a Marvel role, maybe Kang or something like that.
It wouldn't surprise me. He's got this profile. It's really the last 2 years he's had these sort of stunning Oscar-worthy performances in movies that heralded in a smaller circuit, but he was in Rustin, I think I have that name right, which is about the civil rights leader, which was on Netflix that he made a run at last year, and then then this year he garnered all kinds of acclaim for his performance in this film. So he's really very much in the public eye and spotlight with how he's kind of come to the fore as one of the actors of the day.
Nice. Did you see this, Kellen?
I did not. So I have a list of movies that are high up there. This was actually on there. So Sing Sing, Brutalist, September 5th, and Hard Eyes. Those are on my to-do list short term because I've heard good things. I love the studio. A24 produces a lot of unique content, movies.
Yeah.
They put out a ton of bangers, in my opinion. So Sing Sing, I know, was up for quite a few awards. I would assume it's a great movie. So, but I want to check it out. Brutalist, obviously, up for tons of awards as well. I know we'll get into a bunch of those, but Sing Sing is high up on my list.
Yeah, at this moment right now, A24 and Decal, which is sort of a broad umbrella for Bleecker Street and Neon, and some other smaller studios that feed in there. They really are at the forefront of kind of creating prominent art house films, and I think as the Oscars showed, art house type films are very much at the forefront of how a lot of the awards platforms are seeing movies right now.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, A24 has been killing it all year. 97% too for both critic and audience.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
That's interesting. Now this, I did review this here. This is Wolfman. This is 65 gigs for DV, and then HDR10 is 57 gigs. $25. I thought this was decent. thought it was all right. I thought it was better than The Wolfman. I actually tried to watch The Wolfman this afternoon. I just couldn't get through. I got like 20 minutes. I was like, oh, no wonder I don't remember this. It's just not good. But this was interesting though. This is really good audio. I will say that the Atmos is really good, and a very dark movie. Indeed, as you might imagine. I don't know if this is going to be part of their monster verse, if they're doing a monster verse or not.
Well, it's a different kind of idea of a monster verse. This is Lee Wanell, who also did that great version of the Invisible Man that Elizabeth Moss was in. Do you remember that
Yeah.
one?
Yep.
And he's really doing these sort of interpreting these monsters in more of a modern social context. And I thought Invisible Man was extraordinary. I liked this movie. I won't put love next to it. I did like the movie. I enjoyed it. I rattled around my popcorn bucket while I was eating it. It has a couple of good jump scare moments that come in.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a fun one.
I know you saw this, Kellen.
Dodged it, man.
What? You dodged this one? You love horror movies.
No, I do. I just did not have I traveled quite a bit with Dream Media doing some installs, so I didn't really have a ton of time to really knock out some movies, but I did get to watch a few. So when we get to those, I'll definitely have some more input. But no, I didn't. Missed Wolfman.
Did you install any Kaleidescapes on your travels?
I did.
Oh,
I did,
all
yeah.
right. All right.
Yeah.
What was the biggest size system you installed?
This one was a Strato V with the 8 TB, so
Okay.
room to grow. But yeah, I'm working with another customer here just down the road, and we're maybe thinking about doing one of the what is it, the 88 TB or something like that. So he's room to go.
Whoa. Big
Get
boy.
that 96. Get that 96 plugged in.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you're at 88, you might as well just go to 96. What's the hold up?
Yeah.
All right. And where can they get a Kaleidescape, by the way, Kellen?
DreamMediaAV.com. You can
Oh.
definitely pick it up on our website. Or if you're unsure, have questions about what a Kaleidescape truly is, or what you would want to start out with, there's different configurations, models to go by. Feel free to reach out. Definitely would love the opportunity to help you decide which one to get. So thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you, Shane.
We got September 5th here. I didn't see this either, but this is on the list, though. This is 57 gigs Dolby Vision, 55 in HDR10. What's this about? I've been meaning to watch this one.
Yeah, so this is it. It's a really interesting one. This is about the sports television crew that is at the 1972 Olympics when that terrible hostage situation with the Israeli athletes broke out, and it's about these guys who've come to sort of do their sports coverage and have a particular mentality and set that they're ready for, having to sort of pivot into this broad real world coverage in this sort of hyper fast paced environment with a story that the world was immediately watching. Uh, wonderful movie. There's been some really great documentaries about this. It's a harrowing but thrilling tale, and this film's a really wonderful sort of dramatic reenactment of everything that took place there.
Got you. So when you are putting this into the Kaleidescape catalog, are you actually like sitting there watching it, or are you just skimming through it just to see if there's any weird anomalies?
So my review team's going to go through, and they're probably going to do. They're going to have a version based on what they got in their initial analysis that they're going to do a longer review on, which almost gets an entire full review. And then based on that review, they're able to isolate spots that they can do a shorter scanning review on other versions of it as it comes through. Because it's not just a single version that we have to get ready for launch. We've got to get the HD, the SDR, the UHD, the HDR, and the Dolby Vision if that's available for each one of the movies that comes out.
Oh, got you. I was picturing a bunch of guys just sitting in the room just watching each one.
No, it's not, and it's not really. it's a little bit more joyless than that, because although you may get caught up in the story, you're really trying not to get caught up in the story. You're trying to get caught up in the backgrounds. You're trying to see, oh my goodness, is there bad chroma levels going on here that have been introduced in the transcode process? Is there banding in the source that maybe has manifested itself in a way? Are the subtitles continuing to be aligned as the movie moves on? All those details are sort of what we're diving into.
Got you.
So, Luke, I don't know if we've discussed this before, but how do the scenes, how are they generated? How are they picked out? Are they manual? Is it
It's
how
manual.
how
There's no auto generation. Part of it is that you understand. I mean, the other great thing is that I work with a team of people that are well versed in cinema narrative generally, and so they understand sort of how the story beats work in the film. And so, following through the story beats, you look through the particular moments that are framed in to capture the most attention. And you try to drive back and get those particular moments pulled out to the front.
Very nice. Well, this apparently is a pretty good movie, 92% and 90%. So
Yep.
yeah, definitely have to watch that. And don't let the review scare the rating scare you on Wolfman. It's not that bad.
You're gonna eat all your popcorn. That's what I say about that one.
I did see this one at the movie theaters. This is 58 gigs Dolby Vision, 51 gigs HDR10, and it's only $30 for this guy. My wife really liked this one, and I thought it was pretty funny. So I don't know if I would say go ahead and buy it, but I enjoyed it. It got really good reviews too. Look at this, 94% and 90%.
This is the first one we've hit. It's double certified. It's
Look at
certified
that.
fresh by the critics, certified fresh by the audience members. This is one that pops off.
Look at that. Safe bet. Listen, if you are in for the night, you want something funny, it's got Kiki Palmer, I think, who's trying to be in the X-Men movies, Jubilee, possibly. And then I don't know who the other woman is. Oh, SZA. I had no idea who SZA was, but my wife had to teach me on that one. SZA, apparently.
Noted recording artist SZA, who has a lot of
Yeah.
wonderful songs that are out there in the world.
I don't know any of them, but maybe I've heard him. I don't know, but she's a rapper. She's in this. So this is, what did I say, 58 gigs, 51 gigs. Decent. It's a funny movie. That was funny. I forgot what the plot was about, but with a big job interview looming, a waitress desperately tries to raise rent money for her friend's boyfriend that her boyfriend squandered. Oh, okay, yeah. So the girl, SZA's boyfriend, had stolen the rent money, and then Kiki Palmer has a job interview to get a new job, and then the landlord is like begging them for the rent. We're trying to get the rent money from them for the day. If they don't pay for during that day, they're going to get kicked out, and then comedy ensues.
That high immediate stakes. That's what we like.
That's right. That's right.
worth every penny?
That's right.
That is, what is that called? One of them days.
One of them days.
One of them days. I believe this is an Oscar pick here, right? I didn't see this one, but I think it was mentioned. Oh, it's not
Yeah.
4K, but it's 50 gigs in HD.
It is. This is a difficult but wonderful movie. This was one of the nominated films for Best International Film, and the winner of Best International Film, I'm Still Here, will be coming to platform a little bit later on. I don't have an announced date for it yet, but it's in theaters right now in its limited run. That's also a great film. This one is it was a lot of surreptitious filming of protests that were already going on in his country as he was making the film, and it's about a judge who sort of spirals in his paranoia as he's overseeing a big case, and it even starts to infect what's going on at home. It's a really an intense, serious, but really incredibly made film.
Well, got 97%, 94%, so it must be pretty good. Kellen,
Yeah,
did you see this one?
I did not. No.
Yeah, we're in an incredible time this February. This is when really the big high profile art house films come home to roost, and so the time of year when you'll probably see the highest volume of extraordinarily high scoring critic rated films coming at once. But as is people's want, they're serious dramas frequently, and there's not as much escapism, and the escapism is what really drives higher traffic for everybody to want to kind of plug into their systems.
That's the seed of a sacred fig, of the sacred fig.
Yeah.
Next up is also another Oscar nominee, is Nickel Boys. This is 80 gigs in Dolby Vision, 78 HDR10. It's $30. I saw this one. I thought this one was Sing Sing, but clearly it wasn't.
No.
I thought it was musical, but clearly it wasn't. This is about I don't know what year this took place. 1960s Florida, where if you were a delinquent in high school, they would send you away to like a boarding school or correctional facility for teenagers, I guess. I guess this is like based on a real story in Florida. And this was a kind of a serious movie. I didn't think it was, I was not expecting it to be what it was, but it turned out to be pretty good though. And it's surprisingly, it's a decent looking movie. Was there Atmos in this one? I feel like there was Atmos, but I guess not. Dolby Vision, good looking movie, really good movie as well. Pretty serious topics in this, I will say. Not a feel good movie.
No. Yeah,
this one is actually on my list to see too. To your point too, Shane, I thought they were the same movie, Sing Sing and Nickel Boys, but just looking at different like trailers and things. But this one was on. This is one I need to add to my list as well because I'd be interested to see it.
Yeah, I mean they're similar movies in that they're both about folks that are in hard imprisonment environments and are kind of fighting to hold on to their humanity through them. There's a big civil rights edge in this particular film because it's about how abusive and crazy the 1960s reform schools were in Florida. Colson Whitehead wrote the book upon which the story is based, which was a great book as well if you're looking to kind of do supplemental reading to go along with your movie viewing. This was a hard to watch but a really great film.
Interesting filming perspective too, because it was like they shot it first person for each of the main characters, and they would kind of switch spots between the same thing that each person was experiencing from their perspective. So that was pretty cool. Almost like they strapped the GoPro onto their heads and shot their roles.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's definitely worth it, and it sounds cool from audio wise from their perspectives. I saw this one as well. This is Better Man. I feel like this probably would have done better if it was with actual Robbie Williams in it instead of a monkey, but I don't know why they went that route. But this is Dolby Vision, 81 gigs, 85 in HDR10. 15. Listen, it's $15. I think this is worth it for $15. I thought this was going to suck because I guess nobody really saw it at the theaters. But for $15, it's worth it. It got good reviews as well. The audio was good Atmos. It's a musical. I only know like one song of Robbie Williams. That's Millennium, which I don't think they played in the movie.
You don't know Angels?
Okay, I know that one as well. Okay,
sure.
I don't think that was in the movie. I don't think that was in the movie either.
No, they have the sad the sad funeral scene where it cuts from the funeral to him singing Angels on stage in front of the large group of people. Well, the monkey singing Angels in front of the large group of people.
But this is one of two, I guess, bio movies.
Yeah.
This was pretty good. This was good. Catchy songs in it. Like I said, I only know those two songs, and the rest of the songs were pretty catchy. I like. I guess I'm trying to think if there was another famous person that was in this movie. There was another British pop singer or something like that. Of course, while watching it, I had to Google it to see if any of this stuff was real. So.
No, all of it's real. This is him. The One Direction. No, I'm sorry, One Direction. That. I know. Penalty box for me.
Yeah.
Getting my boy band eras mixed up for 2 seconds in my brain. take that, and the famous Gary Barlow leading that group as Robbie came in and his incredible future success. And he didn't give Gary the fairest shake in the movie. I don't know, but it was, I think, true to Robbie's perspective. Famously, this movie is directed by the same director of The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you can tell because it's got very uh, similarly well executed stagings for every set piece song that they do as it
Yep.
comes onto screen. Really, even songs that I wasn't as big a fan of as Robbie Williams, really well executed visually. Really put something pretty compelling together. This is probably the movie I was trying to get people to go see it in theaters when it came out into theaters, and I've been hawking for it on the Kaleidescape. I'm really glad Paramount's gone and given us the first TPR, so that I think more people can go and get out and see it, because I still haven't met anybody that watched it and didn't like it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, this is it's a hard movie to get past, because if you're of my generation, then you look at this cover and you think you're watching you're spending your hard-earned money on Lance Link, Secret Chimp, and that's not what you're looking for on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And the movie's more compelling than that.
I thought it was a little disturbing when they were on the couch, him and his girlfriend at the time, and they were like kissing. I was like, no, this is not. This I was like, this don't look good, man. This is not a good look.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was a good movie. The audio was good. Good Atmos, as you probably would imagine.
Yes.
And the CG is a little iffy on the monkey.
Yeah.
We're not talking Matt Reeves, Planet of the Apes level here, but it's okay.
Yeah, and the audio blend was good because it's hard with these musicals. Sometimes the musical piece or the regular audio doesn't sound as nice. This one is really well leveled, and it transitions nicely between the different set pieces.
Yeah. Oh, so when I Googled this, apparently the director asked Robbie about The Greatest Showman, whether it was a good idea or not to make. And automatically Robbie thought, oh my God, yes, I'll do it. But then he called Robbie up to see if he could ask Hugh Jackman if he would be in the movie. I was like, oh, that's messed up.
Yeah, hard, rough.
Yeah.
It's rough to come through that.
Where were you? Oh, this one. This next one here is Red One. This is an Amazon movie. 80 gigs Dolby Vision, 72 gigs HDR10. I saw this at the movie theaters. I thought it was okay at the movie theaters. I actually really wanted to see this at home because I felt like maybe the Atmos should have been better at the theaters and it would translate really well at the house. It was okay. It was okay at the house. I had a good time with it at the house, but the video quality was kind of dim. Like I just felt like the Dolby Vision, it's one of those dimmer looking transfers I felt. But I know people hated it. Clearly. Well, hold on.
But critics hated it. The
Critics hated it.
audiences loved it. I mean, this is one of those grand splits between the people and the world. And the world just likes to watch The Rock punch things, man.
Yes.
And The Rock punches things. That happens in this movie. If you like watching The Rock punch things, go get this movie.
Yeah.
It's there. It happened.
So he plays The Rock in the movie.
Is there
He does.
Is there
He
a
does.
plot? Sure. Kinda. But that doesn't matter, because what matters is that there's some really fun fights, and we get a little we get a little Johnny Storm playing against Type as the sideman, which I enjoyed.
I just felt like it didn't know if we wanted to be like a endearing or Christmas movie, or if it wanted to be a really serious action movie, or if did it want to be a comedy. I felt like it just didn't meld perfectly well together, because they were really taking. It was almost like they took Santa Claus hostage, and he was like Bruce Willis. He had to go, or he was like Liam Neeson. He had to go save Santa. Like it was really serious in that respect. And I was like, what is going on in this movie? Is this like a family movie or what's happening? Because this is serious. and then all the action pieces were just like a Marvel movie. The CG was kind of iffy, but considering the type of movie it was, I was like, okay, makes sense.
I could come out here and be a negative Nelly critic on the movie, but I think that this movie is showing critics don't matter on this movie. This is a movie that I think if you see the hook, you're going to find a way to get your enjoyment out of it if it's got the angle that's going to be pleasant for you.
Mm-hmm. It's my movie. It's a good home theater movie
Yeah,
for sure. I think it'll find its audience as time goes on, like Joker 2. And how much is this? It's
like Joker
25
2.
bucks.
Yeah, it must have been devastating for you to hear all
25.
those Joker 2 jokes all night and all the award ceremonies. They were very mean to that film.
We're talking about bad movies. I watched this today. This is an HDR10, 46
Yep.
gigs.
Yep.
I also got to say that the Atmos was good in it. Good audio. It's a good looking movie. I don't know what Mel Gibson was thinking when this came through his desk and he was like, you know what? This sounds like a good idea. Let me see how many times we can tie up Mark Wahlberg in a little 2-person plane and see how many times he can escape from being captive. That's the whole movie. So much exposition happening over the phone. I'm like, God. I was like, this is just bad. The only good thing about this was Wahlberg's haircut.
I mean, let's not. That's truly. That was a choice. That was a choice. That hairpiece was a choice.
Yeah. The fact that he shaved it in the front and then left a little strip in the middle and then decided to shave again in the back. I was like, did you? And he did that for real. That's the best part of the movie. Topher Grace is in this. I don't know who the lead actress is. Her name is Michelle Dockery.
Yeah, Michelle Dockery, I think probably most famous or recognizable to most audiences because she was one of the leads on Downton Abbey. She was the eldest daughter of Downton Abbey.
Gosh, she was not a very bright U.S. Marshal in this movie. Just bad choices all the way around.
She did what the script told her to do.
God. Flight Risk. Yeah.
I had the opportunity to watch this one, and the wife chose the other option. So I
Okay.
cannot report on what I thought about it. We were either going to watch Flight Risk or the oh gosh, it just came out on Apple. The
Gorge?
The Gorge.
Yeah.
So she opted to watch The Gorge. I was really wanting to watch Flight Risk, but after hearing some things, it sounds like I made the right choice. Although that movie wasn't awesome,
I liked it.
sounds like it was better than this one.
Yeah. Yeah, The Gorge is definitely better than Flight Risk. Just wait till it comes. It'll be on Netflix soon. I know that. I saw this as well the other day. This is The Last Showgirl. This was also up for an Oscar. I think it was up for an Oscar, right? It wasn't.
I think
think it
I
was.
think this was on a lot of Oscar lists because it fell in the snubs category.
Yeah.
Both Pam Anderson and Jamie Lee Curtis are very good in this movie, and they were sort of dark horse contenders to get nominated for some of the acting awards this year.
Yeah, this is decent. Batista was in this as well.
Mhm.
He kind of plays Batista in every movie too, though. 83%, 73%. Critics liked it more. I thought it was okay. I thought Pam Anderson was decent in this. Yeah, for sure. She plays a aging showgirl, well, she's not a stripper. She's a showgirl. Princess Leia's daughter's in this. Plays her daughter. What's her name? Kiernan Shipka. No, Billy Lord is in this.
Correct.
She plays kind of a rotten daughter. I feel like she's just a really rotten daughter. Like her mom was doing the best she could. She's a bit delusional in it. I don't know. I guess you could look at it either way. Kind of a miserable movie, but a good movie.
Yeah, it's an interesting sort of meditation on what happens when you followed your dreams and you made them come true, but you've sort of seen their limits, and a lot of the stuff you had to block out starts to come into more focus as your dream comes to an end. I thought Pam was really pretty compelling in this movie, and I thought Jamie Lee Curtis was really good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're both good for sure. I could have swore this was going to be up for Best Picture, but nope, it didn't do it. Interesting.
Crowded field this year. A lot of very good movies this year.
Also, I don't know if they shot this on film or what, but it's a pretty grainy movie. So if you are film grain kind of aficionado, you might like the way this movie looks. That's The Last Showgirl, and she's been on this whole thing of no makeup lately too.
Well, in some makeup, but very a deeply natural look when she does wear it. Yeah.
Yeah. This one, I attempted to watch this. Not what I thought it was going to be. This is Love Me with Kristen Stewart and Stephen Ewan. HDR10. It's 54 gigs. I got about 30 minutes into it, and I was just like, I thought this was going to be like a human on human type of thing or whatever. It was just like some cartoons, and I was like, this is not keeping my interest. I had to click off on it. But
I saw the trailer before Nosferatu, and I was like, nope. Definitely not watching that.
It's a lovely movie. It's it's more abstract than I think some audiences are going to be comfortable with. This is about two AIs, the AI in a buoy and an AI in a satellite, having a conversation. And one of the ways that they, in a world post-humanity, and one of the proxies that they start to use is they wrestle with the idea of what those senses of being are, is old found footage of a couple that was recording themselves on YouTube, and sort of they create this second imagined life to kind of explore some of those ideas. It is I think not at first blush when you look at it as much of an idea movie, I think, as it actually is. But there's some fun concepts to wrestle with that are embedded in it. And I always like Kristen Stewart. I just think she's a really interesting actor.
Yeah, because I saw her in, what is it, Blood Lies Bleeding or something like that?
Love Lies Bleeding, yeah.
Love Lies, okay. Which I thought was pretty good. And from the trailers, I thought this was like a love story with her and the Asian dude, Stephen Ewan. But it wasn't. It was like clickbait. He just clickbaited me for a Kristen Stewart movie. I was like, come on.
Well, in a way it is. In a way that one of the AIs is a proxy for him and she's a proxy for the other one. It is a love story between those two.
Which movie was it, Shane, that she was in? Takes place underwater.
Underwater?
Was it under? Is it underwater? Yeah, it is underwater. Yeah. I thought that was decent.
I like that too. Audio. Yeah, that was really good too.
Yep. Yeah. Outside of that, I think I just can't get past her always willingness to getting ready to cry like she always is in Twilight movies. Just that sad, like very, very emotional state that she's always in.
So she was playing a young woman who was in a very high emotionally
hot and heavy with a vampire. I get it. I mean, she did it right. Have to explain it to me.
Right what it called for.
I'm a little surprised the audience actually liked it more than critics. I find that pretty strange.
Well, if you would have made it to the end, Shane, maybe you would have liked it more.
I skimmed through it just to see if there's any live humans in it. I was like, no. I was like, I'm not doing this.
You said you're good.
I'm not doing this, man. I haven't seen this, but I don't know. Maybe Kellen did. This is Dog Man.
Did see it. Good kid movie. It actually had some pretty cool visuals. The way that it was animated, it seemed very illustrated, but like not stop motiony, but kind of it was just different. Kind of like a Wild Robot on how it was unique in its own type of animated style. So this one was a pretty good movie. Just a fun flick to watch with the kiddos if you have them. It's not one that I think will lose your interest if you're the parent or the older crowd. Would I have watched it without my kids? Probably not. But it's definitely one that it's not a terrible watch. I'll put it that way.
So it's a little Frankenstein-y, huh? They infuse a dog in a human? That's the premise? Okay.
Yeah.
That's right there in the title, Shane. He's a dog man.
I like cat dog.
I don't know what's not to get. It's right there in front of us.
It sounds like something kids would like.
Is it? I think it's I think it's the same writer from the Captain Underpants books, right? If I'm
Yes.
not mistaken. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Pete Davidson is in this. Does he play the main role?
No, he is
Oh,
the villainous cat.
Ricky Gervais is in this. Oh, wow. Look at that. And Stephen Root. Oh, we got some famous people in here.
And you'd have to strain your ears to catch many of them.
Oh, Dolby Vision HDR and Dolby Atmos. Did it sound pretty good in your system? Did you watch it in the theater? Or?
Yeah, no, I watched it here at the house in my home theater. The audio was good. It was kind of like a yeah, I mean, not as bombastic as like the crazy action movies and that sort of thing, but
Yeah.
yeah, there were some moments where it sounded good. Nothing over the top, but good for an animated flick.
Yeah, short watch, hour 22 minutes.
Yeah, that's another good thing about it.
More movies would be successful if they would just get out of their own way in the running time. Get to the
That's
editing
right.
room.
All right, so next one, another cartoon animation. This is a Mufasa, Dolby Vision, 70 gigs, and then HDR 1060, 9 gigs. I actually reviewed this one with my wife, so we did this the other day. I thought this was okay. It's kind of a rehash of the first movie. A lot of the same scenes, a lot of the same shots that they kind of borrowed. The music was pretty much forgettable for the most part, except for the Bye Bye song, which I dug. I like the Bye Bye song. He was like, bye bye, bye bye. I said in the review that I thought that the first movie looked a little bit more realistic. I don't know what they did. Like some of the lines were like smiling in this one. I think they just went more like realistic on the first one. Like animals don't smile and stuff like that. But I feel like they were smiling in this one. Sometimes the feet wouldn't quite look right on the ground. Stuff like that. Little nitpicky stuff.
Interesting.
But still, a great looking movie. Listen, I gave it a 10 for video because it was just awesome looking movie. And the audio was really good too for a Disney movie, surprisingly. Typically, it kind of sucks, but Disney kind of, I don't know, they pulled out the stops from Mufasa. Really good audio. And I mean, it looks like the first one. So I mean, if you're a fan of the first movie, visually it looks just as good. Sounds better, I think, than the first one. And yeah, I mean, it's a decent enough movie. $30. Good watch for the kids. Did you see this, Kellen?
I did not. We're either going to watch it tonight or tomorrow night. So that's the plan.
Yeah, what'd you think? What'd you think, Luke?
It's interesting. I've been I'm really interested in this trend to kind of do these live style recreations of the vaulted Disney titles. I think they're really interesting. There's sort of some of the stuff that never really translates over that valley from how it sort of flourished in the make-believe cartoon world to come into a real world. And so I'm always interested to see how they interpret it. This is, I think one of the craziest things about this movie to me is Barry Jenkins directed this. Like, that's wild to me. This is the guy that won the Oscar for Moonlight, and I mean, has a rash of. He's just an incredible director, and I guess I can see that a little bit in some of the flourishes that took place in the movie, which I thought were really artfully done as they moved through the story. So I thought that I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a fun film. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
not my
didn't
first
dislike
watch,
it.
but it's a fun film. Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay. Well, it was. I don't think it's ever going to be a classic, but it was a serviceable sequel or a prequel, I guess.
Yeah.
It'll be popular in Disney Plus. Now this is an exciting one. This is Companion. This is 50 gigs in Dolby Vision, 48 gigs HDR10. This got some pretty good ratings as well. 94% critic, 89% audience score. I would have to agree with that. This is a good movie. I felt like you probably should have went to go see this movie without seeing any of the trailers because the trailers kind of give it away.
Correct.
But it's a good movie. She's essentially, I guess listen, if you saw the trailer, we'll give it away here. She's a robot, kind of like that movie Subservient with Megan Fox. Same kind of premise, I guess. She's a girl. She's a companion. She's Huey's girlfriend in the movie, and there's a plot that I don't want to
Yeah.
give away that part of it, but
But it is interesting that there's an inversion between these two films in which the AI is the villain in Subservience, and in this movie, it's really the people that are bad.
yeah. She also doesn't get naked in this movie either. So there's
Yeah.
that. There's that. I know you saw this, Kellen.
No, I didn't.
You didn't see this?
No, I saw the trailer. I think it was before Nosferatu at the theaters, and I thought that kind of what you said, like, hey, the trailer gave a lot of the movie away. It seemed like,
Yeah.
but it did still seem very interesting, and I did forget about it. I guess this must have came out last week, potentially. I
Very
remember
recently,
seeing it.
it's
Yeah, very
I
recently.
think it's just 2 weeks ago that it dropped. But yeah, so it's very
Yeah.
recent. It's very recent.
So
It was a late addition to the theaters as it came out. So yeah, it's this one was a surprise to me. This movie, I
no,
didn't get a lot. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I'd like to see it. So um, the fact that Shane says it's awesome, I'll probably hate it, but at least I'll watch it.
No, Kellen, I really do think you're gonna like this one. I think it's a really well cast. Jack Quaid, who's just been making a
Mm-hmm.
series of really good movies of late. I think he's Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan's kid, but he's probably most broadly known for being on The Boys right now over on Amazon. And Sophie Thatcher, who's was great in The Heretic, which just came out
Yeah.
in December, and was really good on Yellow Jackets, which is a creepy, thrilling show. So it's good to see two rising young talents that are in a movie that's kind of got a really interesting script and really pretty well executed by the director.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good
no,
one.
I'll have to check it out for sure.
Yeah, it's an Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision. The audio was okay. I mean, there's nothing too special about the audio in it, but there's just some atmospheres and stuff like that when they're out in the woods. Other than that, it's a good looking movie, and yeah, it's a safe. Listen, it's a safe buy if you have a Kaleidescape. I would definitely safe to pick it up. I think you'll enjoy it. This one here, this is the Brutalist. I picked this up the other day. This is 115 gigs in 4K because it is 3 hours and 21 minutes long, and I can almost guarantee you, if they don't split it up between two discs on the 4K Blu-ray, they're gonna have to keep it at like 96 gigs or whatever on the disc. So I mean, this is gonna be a substantial, pretty good increase in compression over the disc. That is, if they don't split it up. So 115 gigs. $25. This was up for Best Picture. And then we all know that Adrian Brody won for Best Actor in his 6-minute speech.
Still.
This was it's a good looking movie. I think they shot it on film, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think they shot like maybe one or two scenes digitally, which strikingly there's a big difference when it goes to like digital for like that one shot or whatever. That's only like my big takeaway from the transfer. And then the Holocaust type of movie. He's a architect. I don't know Frank Lloyd Wright. Did they base it off Frank Lloyd Wright or?
They based it off a handful of other brutalist style architects who came over in a similar window to him. He's sort of an amalgamation of a handful of people that Corbett used to base the character on, that had sort of survived the end of World War II and came over to make a fresh start.
I feel like if Adrian Brody is playing somebody escaping the Holocaust, he's gonna win an Oscar.
Look, Adrian Brody is my biggest challenge with Adrian Brody is Adrian Brody. He gets in his own way in some of the movie choices that he makes in between Oscar seasons, but when he is fully committed to doing a performance, he deserved that Best Actor award. He was incredible in this movie. He ran every bit of emotion that you could wring out of him. He wrung it out.
There's a little twist in this movie towards the end. I wasn't expecting that little twist. There's a little twist. Good movie though. It's a good movie. Not something I would watch more than once, but it was a good one-time watch for me at least.
Yeah,
Killing
I think this is a great movie. I think this is one of the best movies of the year. It rightly won for best cinematography, and the score was incredible. I think I'm okay giving it the score. I actually would have given the score to award to somebody who wasn't even nominated, which is Challengers, because I loved the score of that film, and he was really wonderfully presented that role. And Guy Pearce as our sort of villainous wealthy patron, I thought was also very good in the film. I really was enraptured watching this film. It was wonderfully built out from end to end as a story.
It's a long one.
It's a long one. It's too.
It's like
But the great thing is they even have an intermission in your viewing experience. There's a literal intermission when you watch the movie between the two acts, and then in the end, it's really just like two slightly above 90-minute movies.
It's like the Snyder cut for the Holocaust, basically.
Correct.
I was curious if you guys were going to put like the intermission in there or not, because I was like, oh, this should be a quick 3.5 hour watch without having to get up.
Yeah, that's not us. That's a design choice by A24 when they created the film. They wanted that little rest beat to kind of exist between the two parts of the film.
So I'll take it they're probably going to put this on Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray, 2 discs, I would think.
Well, I'll be curious to see what they do. A24 always, in terms of physical media, always has interesting release strategies. A lot of the stuff they kind of keep isolated and just release to the A24 platform as special limited edition prints. So I'll be curious to see what they do. Obviously, it's gotten so much acclaim. This is the movie that won every Best Picture award this year that Anora didn't win, and it's the kind of movie you kind of figure they have to go out and feed the audience in order to put into the world.
Yeah, decent movie. I mean, what was the review? What was the ratings on that one? What did it get? I got a 93 and an 80%. All right,
pretty high.
Decent movie. It wasn't like my favorite of the year, but it was decent though. What else is here that came out last month? I think this is all this month. All these. Oh, except for Old Guy. I didn't see this, but I have no idea what this is about. During a war between rival crime syndicates, an aging assassin teaches a talented young upstart the tricks of the trade. Starring Christoph Waltz.
Yep.
Yeah, was this good? Did you see it?
This is a Saturday afternoon film to find. This is punchy. Christoph Waltz does some murdering and some condescending looks. It's not a broad comedy per se, but it's definitely sort of a crime comedy as it lays itself out. A lot of murders and a lot of setups to the murders. His little protege is truly it's a fun character. I'll let you enjoy him if you decide to plug in and watch this one.
Oh, I'll have to. Yeah, look at that. I didn't know. Simon West, didn't he do what movies did he do?
I was gonna say
so Con Air. Yeah, Con Air, Tomb Raider.
The Mechanic.
Speaking of which, we didn't bring this up last month. Con Air is also at 4K with Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision, which is not out on disc. I don't know if there is a disc release for this, but you can only get it right now on the Kaleidescape. And this is a classic. Like, you got to have this one. This is 67 gigs Dolby Vision, 68 gigs HDR10. It's only $20. Classic Con Air. We don't have to explain it, what the movie's about. I mean, it's got Nick Cage. It's peak right. Nick Cage.
Put down the bunny. That's exactly what you're doing.
Put down the bunny. Must have. What kind of review did this get? 58% from the critics. Wow. Only 75 audience.
I guess, Luke, you probably have input on this one. What did you think of Presence?
I loved it. I love um, Steven Soderbergh. I think he's like when we get back to the fullness of time, he's going to be one of the great directors of our age. And he just keeps doing interesting things over and over and over again. Like the general conceit about this movie, about reversing the perspective for a lot of the film, wasn't that complicated. It was so much better executed than a lot of the found footage horror that kind of is all over the market today. I really enjoyed this. It's not as it's not though a found footage horror film, which is why I think a lot of people might watch the trailer and think they're getting one kind of movie and then be disappointed that they've seen something else.
All right, I'll have to watch this. Steven Soderbergh, who also did the Oceans movies.
It did.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea that the guy that did Sex, Lies, and Videotape and the Limey and the Oceans movies and Aaron Brockovich is doing this small run horror film as well. He's like he's everywhere. He's like all over the map.
Ooh, 52% audience score.
Correct.
Ouch.
People
Ouch.
did not get. People did not. That's a sure sign. People went to the movie and were not getting what they were expecting to get.
Very much like Joker 2.
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of remakes, this is The Killer, not from John. Oh, it is from John Woo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he remade his own movie.
He did.
This looks horrible. I watched the trailer. I was like, this looks horrible. I mean, from Chow Yun Fat to what's this girl's name? Natalie Emmanuel.
Natalie Emmanuel, who I think most people know from her work on Game of Thrones.
Also, I believe Fast and Furious, last couple movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is I don't know if he changed the idea of it all, but did you see this? How was this?
The central conceit is the same.
Yeah.
I had fun watching it as I came in. I enjoy myself when I'm at the movies. It is hard if you're a big fan of the original movie. It is hard. It's hard to see another version of it come back, and I think that's what you're seeing a lot of reflected in the scores.
50%.
If you're a big fan of one of John Woo's old breakthrough films, it's not that. It doesn't have that particular temperature. It's a very modern movie that they've kind of adapted the story for. But the general story is still an interesting enough story. But it suffers by comparison.
Yeah, you can tell. Okay. Let's skip on that one. Love Hurts came out. I saw this one at the theater actually, but this is what is it, $25. It's in Dolby Vision, 49 gigs, and then HDR 10's 47 gigs. I will say that there's barely any Atmos in this, except for a few scenes. There's a couple like atmospheric things, but they're like action scenes. There's like nothing going on in the top channels. I feel like Ki Hugh Kwan was doing the best Jackie Chan impression he could do in this movie. It was a good impression. I enjoyed the movie. It was a good movie. I did enjoy the movie. Good looking movie. Fun movie. I don't know. What was your take on it?
I think you've said it all. I think that most of the atmospherics you're going to get are going to be the sounds of glass breaking, and there's a lot of glass that was broken during the making of this film.
Yeah.
I think he's got its own mark. He's sweeter than we would see a Jackie Chan play as a character. He's got this very endearing and vulnerable star sensibility. But I think that is a very fair comp to say it's got the energy of a Jackie Chan movie. A lot of really great sort of improvised kung fu fight scenes that they put into the film, and some really nice fight choreography as it was laid out. So yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun.
And for those that don't know, after Temple of Doom, he went on to become a stunt coordinator. Ki Hee Kwan, that is.
Didn't watch this one, but I did watch a movie of his as he played Data in Goonies.
Yes.
So
You watched Goonies?
I watched the Goonies Saturday. Yeah.
It's perfect.
Well, this got hammered 18%, lowest on our list so far.
Boom.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. I thought it was a fun movie. The relation, the love interest, totally not believable
Not
whatsoever.
believable. Not a tunes.
I
There's
mean,
not a
he's
moment
like,
of yeah.
she's like 23, he's like 55. I'm like, come on, man. Are we supposed to buy that? I mean, good for him, but geez, come on.
Yeah, that did not sell.
This came out also February. I did do the review on this one. I actually put a poll up. Everybody picked the Brutalist over this one, but I reviewed this one. This is Dolby Vision, 86 gigs, HDR10, 75 gigs. This is about Bob Dylan. For all of you youngsters out there who don't know who Bob Dylan is, a folk music star. Takes place in the 60s, portrayed by a young Timothée Chalamet. He does a pretty good impression of him. I'll give him that. And he sang all the songs. He learned to play the guitar and the harmonica. Really impressive. Did a good job on that. Good sounding movie, Atmos-wise. I believe this was also shot on film. Wait, no, I don't think it was shot on film. I believe it was shot digital. It was shot digital, transferred over to Kodachrome, I think, and then rescanned it back digital. So it was shot digitally, but then has the look of film, kind of like what they did for Dune and the Batman. And so it is a bit grainy, but I thought it looked really nice. And the audio was really good. And I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah. This is the second great biography that Mangold has done. The director, James Mangold, also directed Walk the Line, which was Joaquin Phoenix and Reese Witherspoon as the Cashes in that Johnny Cash story. Johnny Cash makes a cameo appearance, short appearance here in this film. Gives some inspiration
Dewey
to
Cox,
young Bob.
did he show up in that movie?
Dewey Cox living on the periphery. Yeah, he did not quite show here for this one. But yeah, this is a really well executed biopic, a really well selected sort of moment out of Dylan's life to put the story's focus on. And to me, it was great. I thought he did an unbelievable job with that.
Yeah, very good, very good. I thought Boyd Holbrook was really good as Johnny Cash.
Really good.
I didn't recognize him at first. I was like, whoever this dude is, he's doing a really good Johnny Cash. He looked just like him, too.
Ed Norton coming back into some movies. What was the last movie he was in before this one? I know he was canceled, maybe.
Was he canceled?
Ed, I don't think Ed Norton was ever canceled, but he did take
a break.
He did a little. He was not doing things in front of camera for a little while.
I thought he had a whole falling out with the not being the Incredible Hulk anymore.
He did. He had a fight with. He did have a fight with them about that. But he was in the last Knives Out movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was like the main guy. Yeah. But 82%.
I like him. I like Timothy.
Yeah.
What did he do? He said it took 7 years to kind of learn guitar and mannerisms and everything. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, good movie.
Pretty
very good movie. And I think that's it. I think Hard Eyes came out Tuesday this week, so we're gonna omit that from the list. But let's go over really quick and let's go over some of the Oscar movies that are now out. Where's your section here? Here we go. So this is this one, Best Picture, Best Actress, Anora, as somebody had said earlier in the chat from Chabrubin. He says this is not a kid's movie. I thought Anora was a kid's movie. It's not a kid's movie. Far from it. But this is a good solid watch. No Atmos. I guess you didn't really have to be in Atmos, but one Best Picture. I mean, what more do you need? It's $25. I would say this is a dark comedy.
That's fair.
Yeah, like Pretty Woman, dark comedy. A little bit of romance on one-sided
really.
Romance.
Not really.
One-sided romance.
I would say there's. I mean, there's if the young Russian oligarch's son was more of a person, we could describe some side of a romance, but he's mostly a cipher in the movie.
Was to quote the late great T-Pain, he was in love with a stripper.
It's true.
It's a good movie. I really like this movie.
Yeah,
I don't listen. I didn't know if it was the best movie of the year, but it was a good movie though.
I think the interesting thing is I was really happy with it getting the win because I think this is the year more than in recent past years where it really felt like there was a plurality of very good movies that you could think, oh, I could see how that movie could win a lot of major awards. And this, I think, just came into pole position to win because it had a lot of factors going for it to keep people interested. I'll also say, as a public service announcement, like the good person in our chat that you poll quoted, there is a lot of actual sex work depicted in this movie, and it to the amount that it may be more than you're comfortable with, and if you can be comfortable with it, then there's a lot of great movie that I think exists in the movie on a whole. But I think it's an alienating condition for a portion of the audience, and you kind of want to get them set up in that so they're not surprised, because it really is, especially the first 20 minutes of the movie, that is very sexual content forward. And there's going to be sort of a gauntlet that's run before that takes place.
Well, she does it takes some skill doing those dance moves. I'll tell you what, she's
100%.
Pretty good dancer. And when I was watching it, I was like, man, this must be kind of weird being her acting this in this movie for this kind of movie. I could see if it was a different type of movie, that'd be normal. But I was just thinking, man, you had to do all this in front of a bunch of guys. But I was like, okay. She earned it. She won her Oscar, so.
Well, we have had a lot of sexuality forward movies. I mean, The Brutalist has a handful of scenes that are very sexually charged. And Substance, which is another movie that got a lot of press during the awards season. It has a broader point and a lot of interesting things to say, but a lot of nudity in that film as well.
Yeah, this is different though, because she was like working it. She was like, let's get you guys going in this. The other stuff was just like, you're just faking sex. This one, she was just like, oh, okay, I feel a little uncomfortable if I'm with my wife, type of thing.
Yeah.
We spoke about The Brutalist earlier, and then we got a little super chat on that earlier here. Yeah, we shot in VistaVision, but I do believe there was a shot. They did use a digital camera at some point in this. I think he was like transitioning from the train station to maybe to the cave or whatever. Yeah. It was like no film grain. It was just all so digitally clean. I think it was like an Arri camera or something, probably. And then, of course, Dune 2, which, listen, I wouldn't have been unhappy if this won Best Picture. I don't know why. Denis doesn't get any love. I feel like they're going to pull, just as long as Dune 3 is good, they might try to pull a Lord of the Rings thing where he just cleans up next year. Wins Best Director, Best Picture.
I think that's entirely possible. I think it's ridiculous that he wasn't nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay this year. There's a bunch of awards that I would have continued to put them in camp for. It did win for Best Sound.
Yeah.
It did win for Best Visual Effects this year. So
yeah.
Happy for those victories.
And this is also only $15 now. So definitely worth the $15.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still the best movie that's came out in the past at least couple of years, in my opinion. It's one of my favorites.
Then of course,
speaking of favorites, here we go. Wicked.
I like this movie. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I did like it though. You know what? When I did this review, I gave it like a 5 because I just thought it was like so muted and dank looking.
Yeah.
And I had the JVC in place, so I just did the review for the JVC. I threw back in the Sony projector, and I threw in the Lumigen, and I was like, boom. Superior tone mapping, way brighter lumens. I was like, I might have gave this thing an unfair shake. So, I mean, it's actually not a horrible looking movie. And not as horrible.
Look better with the JVC, is what you're saying?
No, look better with the Sony and the Lumigen.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe the Lumigen is just tone mapping just way better than both of them could. So I'm assuming if you have a Mad VR or Lumigen on a projector, it probably looks way better than it would without it. So I mean, instead of a 5, I'd probably give it like an 8 if I
Oh
went
wow,
back and changed it,
that's a
because
jump.
it is kind of a bright movie. It does have some pretty good color. Not like Aquaman vibrant, but it's
No,
way vibrant than it was minus the Lumigen in the chain. So there's that. And audio's okay. Audio's not bad. Still could have used more bass, but it's okay. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think this was ever going to win Best Picture or whatever, but it's a good movie. Enjoyable movie. I did watch this one. I remember we talking about this last month, and I was just like, it's not my type of thing. But I was like, all right, so Oscars, I got to watch it if it's in the Oscars. Great Atmos, I will say that. Really good Atmos. Way better than I thought for some guys walking around the Vatican. So very active too. Way more than you probably would think. It's $25. Good looking movie. And I was engaged. After you lock in after the first 20 minutes or so,
yeah,
it gets pretty engaging. So I was pretty much locked in. And then a little twist at the end. I don't want to give away the end, but there's a twist at the end. I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but I was just like, are we doing this? Yeah, they did it. A good movie, though. I don't know if it was the best picture of the year or not, but well acted by Ray Fiennes. I will say that. So, yeah. Good acting.
Incredible performances and a really compelling script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see this one, Kellen?
I didn't. Man, I felt really bad because I usually watch all Best Picture nominees. But the past couple of years, kiddos, everything like that, it's just been tough. But I was excited to see that there was a larger catalog that I was like excited to watch rather than the other way around. I know past few years it's been kind of slim, in my opinion, on at least on my side, movies that I was jazzed up to see. But this one was, I won't say it's like high on my list, but I was like, okay, this is probably different. I definitely want to watch it sometime when I have the time.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a lot of intrigue that goes on in the Vatican that we are unaware of. High stakes over there. This got Kieran Culkin a win, a real pain. I thought it was okay. I mean, all right.
Yeah,
What'd you think?
I thought
Okay.
I thought this is a great movie.
All right.
Jesse Eisenberg wrote something that I thought was really compelling. Two really well realized characters. It's like a 2-person drama. I think it's crazy that he won for Best Supporting Actor because he's a co-lead. But he was really good in it, and has a handful of really affecting dramatic monologues, and it's also, it's 90 minutes. It's the perfect length. This is the kind of movie that you want to get into and get out of, and I think they did a really good job doing that and having a couple of emotionally resonant moments along the way.
Yeah, I guess. I guess you make a Holocaust movie. Somebody's walking away with an Oscar, apparently. So,
I mean, Shane, that is brutally cynical, terrible.
like,
It
wow,
doesn't
man.
have the Holocaust has nothing to do with this. Is just they could have been traveling anywhere, and
Dude, I don't know, man.
terrible cousin would have won out. He was very compelling.
I thought he was annoying. I thought his character was just annoying.
Yeah,
I was like, you gave this guy an Oscar over what's the other strong guy, Jeremy Strong, over Sebastian Stan. I was like, was his performance better than those two guys? Come on, man. Oh God, I didn't agree with that. What else did we kind of not talk about? Okay,
Gladiator we
all
talked about last time, I believe, but
Mhm.
pull that up
gosh.
again.
What did you think about it? I know you saw this, Kellen.
Yeah, no, I didn't think it was terrible, but I mean, it was okay. It was okay.
It was okay.
Some of the things, the sharks and
Yeah.
some of the special effects, visual effects. It was an okay movie. That's all. I mean,
Yeah.
wasn't bummed that I watched it, but it wasn't like, oh man, this was a great movie.
I thought it was just too. I thought it was like too clean looking too. Like you could tell he shot it digital.
Yeah,
It was just
so
like
that was one thing that me and my wife were saying is like the like Nosferatu, like watching it, like you felt like you were back in that time.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like the costumes, everything, just like everything was drab. The city, the stone or the cobblestone roads and streets, and just the buildings, everything. You felt like you were in there. And then this looked like a really well done like Broadway play almost. Like all
yeah.
the inside, the what you would call it, just
Coliseum.
the set pieces just didn't seem
Yeah.
convincing. Yeah.
It just seemed like they were making a movie, like on a set.
Yeah, like if they were never mind, I won't say that. Never mind. All good. All good.
82%. Oh my god, what's the matter with people? Jeez.
I think this movie leaned into its own ridiculousness. I think it knew exactly what it was doing. The hardest part about Gladiator 2 is that Gladiator 1 exists, which is, you're going to compare it to Gladiator 1, and it doesn't have that same self-seriousness. I mean, come on, sharks? Like, that's telling you exactly what's going on in this movie. So I leaned back and I ate all my popcorn.
Apparently that was a thing. I googled that too. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, I know.
yeah. I don't know how they transported sharks over to the Coliseum, but they got
Same
him
way to
there.
build the pyramids, man.
They got him there.
Very carefully.
Nosferatu. Nosferatu. What was this up for? Best
He was nominated for
cinematography?
cinematography, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it was
great.
up for best not costumes, not the right word, but
Production design?
maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. I still like Bram Stoker's Dracula better than this, but this is
That's
okay. It was a good movie. Decent
Shane,
movie.
that's literally an insane take. I can't. It's the most insane thing you've said on this entire podcast. There's not one thing in this movie that is the equivalent of Keanu Reeves going, "I don't know what you mean about that, sir." That is just absolutely brutal.
You've got Aaron
Absolutely
Taylor.
brutal.
You've got Aaron Taylor Johnson instead in this one. I mean, come on,
Much
man.
better.
Oh no, he wasn't.
Come
He's
on.
equally as bad.
We're all now dumber for having
Equally as bad, dude.
You're awarded no points, and God
Yeah.
have mercy on yourself.
He actually, this is a good note. I thank you for bringing it up, Kellen. This actually had four nominations. It was best
Okay, I knew it was a
cinematography,
couple, but
cinematography, costume design, production design, and best makeup and hairstyling.
oh wow, okay. Did it get any of those? I don't
No,
think
just
so.
all nominations, no wins. But it's
Got it.
it's an honor just to be nominated.
For sure.
God, good sound though. I'll give it that. Got good sound. And what else is worthwhile here? Maybe this guy.
Luke, did you watch Sugarcane? What's that about?
I did watch Sugarcane. I mean, you got to put on your sad documentary glasses when you go to watch that movie. This is about some really horrific things that were happening at a school in Canada that was being run by the Catholic Church for the First Nations, the Native Canadians that are in the region up there, and sort of the long history of abuses that in time get exposed. It's heartbreaking, but it's a really well made and compelling documentary. Really well shot.
Did you see Memoir of a Snail?
I did see Memoir of a Snail. I think the only flag that I wave about Memoir of a Snail, which I think is a very good sort of coming of age movie, is that it's definitely an adult oriented animation. This is the rating tells you that because it's R, but a lot of people see the cute animation and think, oh, maybe I'm going to run into sort of a family style tone, and that's not what this is. This is more of an adult memoir looking back on their young life and seeing how they got to where they are, but with a really clever and interesting animation design.
100%. I mean, no reviews, so I don't know what that's about. All right, hold on. We had a question here. I think this wraps it up for our movies, but there was a question for you earlier on in the stream here. Paul Monger has a question for Luke.
Hi, Paul.
Luke, why do some of my movies show up twice on the iPad app?
Oh, that's an interesting dilemma that you're running into. Movies that have multiple versions that exist, or I think if you send a PM out my way or send me a message to Luke at Kaleidescape.com, I can take a look and see if I can track down based on the specific movie what might be causing that event. And if there's a bug issue, I'm happy to get it filed for you.
There you go. And also one other question here. Let me bring this back up. Where was the new releases really quick? This was a comment from one of the videos. Oh, here we go. Let me bring this. Let me add this to the stream. The question is, I mean, I already know the answer, but why is the HD bigger in size over the other movies?
It's because the extra features are included on the HD disc. And so what you'll see is that for the HD, there can be an entire supplemental feature that includes a bunch of stitched together films. So whatever the file size might be for the other feature, there's another feature line that exists there. And this is feature rich. It's got some music videos that they made and a stack of deleted scenes and some other extra features.
There you go. Paul Monger says, thanks, will do. So email Luke. All right, so next month we've got, I don't know if there's anything good. Well, you would know if there's anything good.
I'll say this is that there's a handful of fun releases, but the studios made some intentional choices in their release calendar, and there's not as many for the home video market. There's not as many features that are dropping this month. April is a very crowded month. So we may see before the month ends that some things get pulled up into the end of March, but it's not as feature heavy this month.
So this came out Tuesday, which I was not expecting. I'm going to have to pick this up just because I kind of like this movie. This is Den of Thieves 1, the director's cut. It's only $15 and it has a new Dolby Atmos soundtrack. So I don't know if that's going to be good or not, but it sounded pretty good in 5.1. I would assume that it would sound good in Atmos. And director's cut. This kind of came out of nowhere.
And it's the first time that it's available in 4K. It's the only version that's available in 4K. There's no 4K for the theatrical edition. And it's also, if you haven't picked up Den of Thieves 2, it's available in a content set, which pairs the two features together.
Yeah. So you can save money there, or just buy part 1, because part 2 absolutely sucked.
Shay, so disrespectful. Do what you want, people. Enjoy your movies however you see for yourself. Den of Thieves is a better movie than the second one movie. I don't think we're having that on as a disagreement.
Yes, much better movie. And one more that came out Tuesday is Rock Me Amadeus. This also came out Tuesday as well.
Yeah, it's the inversion of what we just saw, where this is the theatrical edition. Which is coming to digital for the first time. Amadeus had been a director's cut print, which had been the thing that had been available in HD for so long, and they put together the pieces to get the theatrical edition remastered and scaled up and ready for launch. And this just came out. I mean, this movie is a masterpiece. It's absolutely wonderful in every phase of its execution. Great writing, great direction, incredible audio integration of his music and throughout the film.
I haven't seen this in years. I vaguely remember it.
Same.
When is Disney Studio coming to the UK on Kaleidescape?
That is a wonderful question. There's lots of conversations that we're having with all of our studio partners to expand the territory availability that they may have. I don't have any announcements on anything coming soon.
Okay. There's your answer, Paul Monger. Oh, look at that. That new setting. It just pushes up our video. Okay.
Look at that. That's cool.
Now we know for the future. Classic. Well, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We're going to call it a quits here. We'll see you guys again next month. If you have any other questions for Luke pertaining to Kaleidescape, make sure you leave a comment. We'll make sure he gets it, or we'll ask it the next time. And if you want to pick up a Kaleidescape, Kellen, what's happening with Kaleidescape over there?
Yeah. If you want the best way to watch movies at home, go to dreammediaav.com. If you have questions on which one you should pick out or which one you should get, which one holds a certain amount of movies that you're interested in getting or whatever, any questions pertaining to Kaleidescape or anything, audio or video, give us a shot. We'd love the opportunity to help you.
Great. So that's Kaleidescape.com or Dream Media. Shop dreammediaav.com or dreammediaav.com. Thanks for checking out this video. Hit that thumbs up button, and we will see you.